Welcome back to the Blitz The Bolt podcast. This is episode 2. Today we're going to be kind of talking about the aftermath of that Panthers game that we all just witnessed.
Oh yeah,
Talking about the positives and the negatives of this. The first episode actually got around 100 views,
very
which
very
I'm
exciting.
I'm really excited about. So if you guys kind of like what you guys see, subscribe so we can sort of keep this up to date. If you're listening on Spotify, then kind of save that or follow the podcast. iTunes we're working on right now. That's kind of in the works.
Yep.
But thank you guys so much for the support that
Thank
you've
you.
given us. It really does mean a lot. And I think the Spotify has a good amount of plays too from what I've seen.
So we're getting
Um
the more you watch and the more you give support, it gives us more motivation to continue doing these because it does take a very long time to create, edit, upload, all that. And the comments, for me personally, I love responding to comments, seeing your guys' opinions, something we can talk about, something you'd like to see. All of that stuff means a lot.
Yeah, so if you guys have anything good to say about what we do, anything bad, just want to talk about the Chargers, if you're watching this on YouTube, then obviously just go hit up the comments. If you're on Spotify, obviously you can't do that. But if you're listening to this on Spotify, we actually do upload this to our YouTube channel, which is the exact same as the podcast
Blitz the
name.
Bolt.
Yeah, it's Blitz the Bolt on YouTube. So if you guys would go over there and subscribe, again, that'd mean a lot. Enough about self-plugging ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's get to the topic at hand. That Carolina game.
Um, I mean, I'm okay. Honestly, I've been speechless since the game. Um, so I gotta put it out there. We shot ourselves in the foot, and the only reason why we lost is because of our own coaching, our own players. As much as like I can put all the blame on the coaching, I think we had some players that left it out on the field.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with that first quarter of the game, which there were a couple of questionable plays made by the players. I know. I think one of the first plays was Balaga not blocking on the right side, which
Brian
resulted
Burns,
in he didn't block Burns, which resulted in a fumble,
quote
which went
unquote,
for three. I honestly I don't think that should have been a fumble,
it was a
but we'll
forward
talk about
pass.
again, again. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But just some really questionable play calling down the stretch. And kind of like Nate said, I'm not going to blame this solely on the coaching staff, but I feel like they did play a really big role in this loss, especially when it's the fourth quarter, 155 left on the clock, and you go for a ton of little short passes down the middle. I mean, in retrospect, it kind of worked, but the sense of urgency just wasn't there. If you had a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit more urgency, that last play, you maybe could have gotten like two or three instead of just the one.
So let's start off talking about the offense exactly, and we'll go to the defense and special teams. We'll talk about all phases of the game, but let's start with the offense. Justin Herbert, of course, the quarterback. We're gonna start with him. I think he played great. I think the fumble is not his fault whatsoever. I loved the way he learned. He rolled out. He took what he can with his legs. He didn't end up throwing back across the middle. I like the improvements, and I think he improved. I don't think he declined whatsoever. I just think that pick he threw to Dante Jackson was ugly. He was trying to throw it to Keenan, and Dante undercut it real fast, and that's something I don't like to see. But overall, I think he played great. Of course, there's room to learn and improve, but it's his second game, so I can't really blame him too much.
With his IQ, it's kind of like what we talked about on the last episode. As the game went on, he slowly kind of improved his mindset of what to do. I forgot. I think it was the third quarter, when the blitz got to him, but he stepped up in the pocket and he got that out. He learned from the previous sort of sacks that like the way that player rushes, he knows exactly what to do to kind of counter that.
Yeah,
So I think from it, he pumped it, made him think they got the fumble, and then he got it down the field,
I like
which
that.
was, which again, that IQ that he had in college, like not the IQ, yeah, the IQ that sort of plays into the professional role, which isn't something you see in quarterbacks too much nowadays, not mid game at least.
Yeah, I mean, I really like his pocket presence. That's been his number one thing I think for us. He's always evading defenders, moving around in the pocket. I feel like he needs to step up a little bit more. Like he'll step up, but not enough. Um,
Yeah,
Leading into that is our O line. It's been awful this game without Trey Turner. That was tough. Without Brian Bulaga most of the game, even when Brian was in, it wasn't great. Tevi got beat like a turnstile because that's what he is. Forrest Lamp, I didn't see too much bad from him, so that's good. And Feeney gave up a sack as well. But, it's a lot of... and Ryan Groy was playing a lot, too, and he wasn't doing half bad, but it's a lot of rotation and, backups in for the O-line, and I don't think we played great. We could have handled it much better, considering we're going up against a rookie and a second-year player on the edge.
To kind of feed into that, honestly, I 100% do not blame this loss on Herbert. I mean, I'll give the line a little bit of slack just because, kind of like you said, it's that rotation with, unfortunately, Turner being out and then Balaga being ruled out after the first quarter, I think, for the rest of it. I don't put as much blame on them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gotta guard your rookie better. Because if you don't, then you're gonna have scary hits like the one we had where we thought that, oh shit, Stick's gonna come in,
Yeah. I was very scared to see Stick. I mean, Stick's kind of been that guy. I like Stick, but I was scared to see him, and I kind of felt bad for him because his heart's all like pumping, he's all ready to go, and then he's like, "No, we're gonna take a timeout."
Yeah, I think that was a stupid place to use a timeout.
Yeah,
That was that again ties into horrible coaching decisions because I have faith that Stick will get the ball 4 yards down the field.
yeah.
I have high, even now I have high hopes for him, but I know that he would have gotten that ball 4 yards down the field. So that kind of plays into what I sort of want to talk about too. Clock management.
Yeah, the clock management wasn't very good today at all.
Not at all, especially down the stretch with minute 55 left, You don't
No timeouts.
no timeouts, a minute 55 and you do a bunch of short passes up the middle. That's not going to get you anywhere.
That's partially on Herbert though.
I don't know because I think Herbert. See, that's the thing. I can tie that to coaching or Herbert. Honestly, I can pin it on both, and I think I'm going to pin it on both.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, Lynn didn't really seem like, okay, yeah, let's clock this. He just kept on calling plays, which we were talking about beforehand. That takes about 10 seconds of your time. So with the minute 55 left, by the time you get to the position where we were, you could only run 1 or 2 plays.
Yeah.
If the clock management was better, we for sure could have gotten 2 or 3 plays off for sure.
I think the receivers played great. Keenan Allen's been Mr. Reliable since day one. Wish you would have caught that 2-point, but that's besides the point. Wouldn't have mattered after all. But actually, it would have because we could have kicked a field goal, right?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I wish he definitely could have caught the 2-point, which is tough. But he had a great game. He caught nearly everything thrown his way. Mike Williams, that OPI, let's just say that, I think was complete BS. I don't think that was OPI at all. I saw he extended his arm out, but did he really push anyone? No.
He didn't even really extend his arm out to the extent where the defensive man is gonna flop. That was more so the defensive man running into the defensive man.
Yeah, and it was a rough scene that could have been a huge monster play for us. And Mike's been somewhat disappointing this year, but I think that's just having to do with the offense where we run, and him being hurt or just not getting opportunities. And when he does, it's a penalty. I've noticed that, or it's out of bounds, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jalen Guyton, he was okay. I'm just kind of going down the list of who played.
Yeah.
Guyton, he was solid. I feel like he's kind of being like Travis Benjamin before he had the drop issues and all that, 2017 Benjamin, which is not honestly a bad thing. But
yeah, but drops.
To talk about the running backs, Eckler always just making something out of nothing. That guy will never ever disappoint me in a game. I haven't seen anything from him to really make me feel resent towards him at all. He's been, I think, great throughout this season, and he'll be a Charger for a long time.
And then Kelly,
Fumble.
That was just, I don't know. I feel like in that position, obviously, we're gonna hold him accountable. I'm trying to think of a reason that we shouldn't hold him accountable. The only thing I can think of is he's a rookie, but even so, at some point that excuse runs dry.
Yeah.
So I feel like that for sure was 100% costly down the stretch because that turned into 6, didn't it? Or it turned into 3. It either turned to 3 or 6.
3, I want to say. It's at the end of the day, it's ball security. You're taught that in little league, and obviously he knows that, and he knows that he needs to protect the ball better. But it was rough to see that fumble from him, because that kind of ruined his confidence. You can tell he didn't really play so great after the game.
Yeah.
After that fumble,
Hunter Henry
Played
was
great.
stellar. He was as a blocker and as a playmaker down the stretch. He was golden.
Reliable, Mr. Reliable. Him and Keenan. I think Rich Gannon, the announcer, was saying just throw it to 1386.
Yep. Which again, that kind of sort of ties back to what we said in the last episode, where we were saying like that Herbert and Hunter connection for years to come. If we do end up like re-signing Henry, that's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be Breland and Herbert part 2, but so much more better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for that duo, and I hope we do resign Hunter Henry. But I'm also excited to see eventually Donald Parham to play the 6'8" tight end from the XFL. He's been active. Steven Anderson, I feel like, should get a little bit more opportunities. He had a good camp, and I feel like he should get the ball thrown his way. We have so many mouths to feed that like we just can't feed them all,
Yeah.
Gosh,
that's
man.
what I was about to talk about.
Yeah.
Honestly, the defense did play really well, especially down the stretch, but the penalties are so costly, especially with Bosa. What was it, 3rd and 3, and you jump off sides, which gives them the first down?
Yeah.
Like, you, as a veteran, you can't be having that sort of thing happening.
And then on that on the field goal, who was it? I think Jerry jumped off sides, and that turned into a touchdown.
No, that was Justin Jones. That was an illegal formation.
Yeah, okay. I remember Damien Square getting yelled at. I don't know why. I don't think he was the one that jumped, but it's rough. It was rough to see that that turned into a touchdown.
No. My apologies. I think it was Square.
Yeah. So for defense, I mean, the D-line, I think Chenna had a lot of opportunities, and he played okay. But really for Bosa, he got double-teamed almost every play. I would see a running back or a tight end chip him, and he just wouldn't have a chance, because by the time he actually got engaged with the tackle, the ball was out.
And then Mike Davis was a huge problem for that defensive line.
Yeah. Mike Davis did play good, their running back. I mean, defensively, like, I like what our linebackers did. Kaiser had a game. He had that one play where DJ Moore caught it, and he wasn't even close. But he's a linebacker covering a number 1 wide receiver,
Yeah. And then it's unfortunate with what happened with Chris Harris.
Oh yeah.
I mean that was an ankle injury, and we don't know how long he's gonna be out.
He was questionable, so that gives me hope that like he wasn't automatically ruled out. So I guess that's not a awful thing. Desmond King came in, played pretty good.
At the same time, though, kind of going back to what you said before about Harris, honestly, I don't trust Lynn with his injury updates.
Yeah.
Not at all. Because what he said, Trey was gonna start, he's out. Ingram, it was just soreness, and now he's on the IR.
Yeah.
That's just how Lynn's been in the past
couple years. He's very bad at estimating his players' injuries.
Oh, 100%.
But for me, last podcast I kind of ripped on Kenneth Murray a little bit. I didn't think he was very great, but I take that back. This game, he played amazing. Always around the ball, making tackles behind the line of scrimmage. I really liked what he did today. He really stepped up. And honestly, he kind of reminds me of Shaq Thompson of the Panthers, the way he plays.
Yeah, 100%. It was funny because it was one of the hits that Murray did. It was on a 3rd down, I think. It was a hit on Mike Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I immediately thought of you when I saw that.
Yeah, I kind of ate my words in the last podcast about Kenneth Murray. I'm glad he's proven me wrong, though. So the corners played great. I think Robbie Anderson was a little bit of an issue. Michael Davis, for us, did not cover very well.
Honestly, I thought he improved because he locked up Tyreek Hill in the last game.
Yeah, well, he played good last game, but this game, not so much.
Yeah, who was he covering? Wasn't he covering Curtis Samuel?
I think he was covering a mix of Curtis and Robbie Anderson, their speedsters.
Yeah, it was... I don't know. It was weird seeing him locking up Tyreek Hill, which is one of the best receivers in the game. One of the speediest receivers in the game, for sure.
Yeah.
And then seeing what he did
this game. Yeah, it wasn't very great.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris played good until he got hurt. Desmond played good. Casey, I don't even think Casey really gave up anything this game.
Nope, he did not. He actually had some good pass breakups.
Yeah, I haven't really had time to watch film or watch highlights back since this is like literally like 30 minutes right after the game. So this is just like our full reaction of the whole thing. You know?
Just raw emotion, which, I mean, a little bit down the stretch, you're going to hear a lot more out of me as far as emotion goes. So
Yeah. Safeties, Nas. I think Nas played amazing considering he got kicked in the eye.
yeah,
I think Nas definitely started to become who he is as a player and starting to become that safety that I liked out of Delaware. He had that on the blocked kick. He had a return, which was pretty nice. He just did not stop going. He was like out there for like at least 20 seconds, just dodging and going, which was pretty cool to see.
yep. When I went to the San Fran game like 2 years ago, he had an interception on, I think it was Nick
remember that.
Mullins,
I remember.
and he did the exact same thing. He stayed on the field for about 20-25 seconds, eluding defenders, trying to get that return in. Which, I mean, obviously it didn't go for a score or anything, but like
Field
the motivation
position.
that kid has is just crazy.
I think
I'm
we should put
excited.
him on punt. I think he'd be good on punt, better than KJ.
100%. And on the topic of KJ,
Oh yeah. All right.
what was it? Two
Two drops.
drops?
He had one catch for like 7 yards.
Yeah,
I think we hyped him up too much. He dropped to the 7th round for a reason. I'm not giving up on the guy yet, but he played a lot of snaps. He had like 3 balls thrown his way. 1 was completed, so that can kind of give you an idea of what's going on.
on the first one that went his way,
Total drop.
yeah, 100%. He wasn't even looking at where the ball was. He was looking more so what was happening up the field, or down the field, excuse me,
Yeah.
than the ball being thrown towards him. And even so, he was in a great position to catch that ball and set us up at what, like the 20?
Probably. I think we need to put in Joe Reed a little bit more at receiver. I think that guy's going to be dangerous if we just give him a chance and let him actually touch the ball, because that's what he is. He's kind of a gadgety Curtis Samuel type guy, you know?
I like Guyton at the third spot, honestly.
I do. I'm just saying, like, instead of KJ, because when Mike was out for most of the game, KJ came in a lot more than Joe Reed.
Yeah, not having Mike down that stretch, that
was
was
rough.
costly.
I think if it was
Yeah.
Mike instead of Keenan on that last throw, like the Hail Mary attempt almost, Mike would have caught that.
Oh, he 100%. Keenan was in a good place to catch that too, but
Trey Boston
Boston.
playing against us, man.
Oh man.
So, I mean, like, Rayshawn played okay. So, like, I think that's, like, player by player for each offense and defense. Special teams.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Dude, that long snapper won the game. Long snappers wins games, you know.
I don't know, because what they were arguing on that last punt was like, oh yeah, he had possession and he was kind of forced to give it up, which I don't think is true because you can see him toss the ball. So I don't think that should have been placed at the 1. That was just a terrible call in my opinion.
I mean,
Because
I don't know enough to really put a emphasis on it, you know.
well, because for punts, how it is if you have possession, it's like a catch. If you have possession of it, then it's down right there. But if, for example, a receiver has possession and he kind of tosses it over to the next guy, kind of like, for example, how we did on that last play, they ruled out a fumble.
Yeah.
So in this case, I think that shouldn't have been at the 1 because he passed it off to one guy and then another guy and then another guy, and then it went back into the end zone. So that was a touchback. That should have 100% been a touchback in my book.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell you what I think. I think it was a fair call because I saw him get 3 like steps in and the possession, and I don't know. Like, of course, my bias wants to say it's total like bad call, but I don't know. I saw what they're seeing, I guess.
Well, because he had possession, but then he gave it up. He gave up the ball. That's where the huge debate is coming in from.
Yeah, that's true. Punt
That
returning,
punt returning was really good. Well,
Yeah.
for the punts that we did return,
and then KJ
Even-
had one.
yeah, and then
Joe Reed on the kickoff return. I think was it the first kickoff return of the game? Like, I think it was because he had a nice like 27-yard kickoff return, which is always solid, you know.
yeah, but the huge special team thing is that lining up under the center, man.
Oh yeah, illegal formation. 3
Yep,
points turned
that
into
was
7.
costly. That was terrible. That was terrible discipline on the player's part.
I think overall, I think the penalties and us just shooting ourselves in the foot is what killed us that game.
Yeah, no, I don't see this as the Panthers beat us. I see it as we beat ourselves.
Exactly, and I think that's a better thing than just being beat by the Panthers.
Yeah, no, I still think that we're the better team. I still 100% think we're the better team. It
Yeah,
kind of ties back to a tweet I saw on Twitter. It hurts seeing that we're obviously the better team, and we kill ourselves.
yeah,
Which is it's a typical Chargers thing to happen at the beginning of the season. I'm not excusing it, but I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I'm not used to it, you know?
yeah. It's definitely a normal Chargers thing. I feel like every single game is the last 2 minutes of whether defense or offense for us that really matters, and it usually doesn't go our way.
Oh no, it doesn't.
And when it does, you look at this 2018 season, and you're like, and then we went 12-4. So
Yeah.
it just
Which is why my prediction of 11-5 still stands. It's just a matter of can the coaching staff step it up? Because honestly, that last drive that ended in a touchdown, that was beautiful play calling. I don't know why we didn't see that the entire game.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer we should run the ball more, which may come as a surprise, but I mean,
Oh no. I 100% agree with you. It's like I was texting you during the game. I hate the screens on third down.
I
On
love
third
that.
and long at that.
Okay, maybe not third down, but I love screens on first and second.
Yes, like that I'm fine with that. It'll give us a couple of yards, but when you're doing it on what, like third and 10 plus, why? That's not. And I was reading somewhere that the only reason that they run it is because the Chargers can't defend it in practice. They're not the Chargers. They've been stopping the screens the entire game, and you don't switch up your game plan?
Yeah. I like wide receiver screens, but I think the blocking on those need to be way better. KJ messed up on a block too. Yeah, KJ had an awful game. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he hurt us more than he helped us this game.
Yeah. But, again, this game just came down to stupid little tidbits that we messed up on, which ended up costing big in the end.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but gotta look forward to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, of course. And we'll have a podcast later on this week for the Tampa Bay. We'll talk more so about, Chargers and all that, but definitely more about the Chargers versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That matchup is going to be fun. It's going to be fun seeing Herbert versus Brady.
That's going to be interesting. I'm kind of nervous for that one. I think that one's a toss-up.
I'm not going to say my predictions just yet. I want to see the injury report for the week. I want to see how everything's going to settle. See if they make any changes or anything in the offense. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what we're going to do and what is going to happen for that game.
All I'm going to predict for that game is Leonard Fournette's going to kill us. 100%.
Dude, they have like 4 running backs. They have LaShawn McCoy, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. I'm sure another guy I'm forgetting too. Like,
you're not making me feel better about this.
well, yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll leave it for the podcast.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. This is kind of a short one. Obviously, we're still a little bit not salty. We're just a little bit mad about it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep this kind of short. There's not too much to talk about. Obviously, like shot ourselves in the foot, but gotta look forward to next game.
Of course. And thank you guys for watching and listening. If you guys subscribe, like the video, comment your thoughts or anything you want to hear more from us or any constructive criticism, I'm all ears to listen and respond to you guys about that. Thanks again, and make sure to check out our socials.
And again, if you are listening to this on Spotify, we do have a YouTube channel where we kind of put pictures and stuff and different plays to kind of show what it is that we're talking about, to like kind of visualize it. If you guys want to go there, it's Blitz The Bolt, the same name as the podcast. You guys can kind of like the video, subscribe, kind of like Nate said, that'd be cool. And for those that listen on YouTube, if you want to listen to it on Spotify, obviously we have it on Spotify. So if you don't have YouTube Red and you just want to close your eyes and just listen to our sweet, succulent voices, then that is always an option. Till next week, my friends. This has been a tough loss, but gotta look forward to next week.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.